65 years young.
See this, man? Come on, man. So welcome, guys, to the first episode for the health of it. Okay, so today I'm going to be interviewing the sensation himself, Doctor Romeo Brooks, the man that can do a one-legged squat at the age of 65. So before we dive into this interview, before we continue, can you do the one-legged squat real quick on video? Just one time. We're spontaneous, right? We gotta show it.
Here we go.
Guys, you guys gotta see
I
it.
gotta balance up.
Balance it out. This is crazy. Wow. Rise it? Nah, that's impressive. All right. Back to the interview. Let's get it.
Yes.
Okay. So before we dive into this interview, I just want to let you know why I'm creating this kind of videos on this platform to basically add value to those that are listening, and also for those people that have questions about nutrition. So like myself, I'm your favorite former fat boy, right? So basically, when I was on the journey of trying to transform my body, I didn't know anything to do. I didn't know where to look, where to get information from about nutrition. So that's why I'm actually interviewing Dr. Romeo Brooks, so he can answer some of these questions that get asked in the fitness world and in the fitness industry, okay? So before we dive into this interview, I just want to ask you to, let the people know more about yourself and what you do for the people.
And Dr. Romeo Brooks, I'm the owner of Brooks Nutrition and Fitness Studio in Inglewood, California. And I was a former firefighter, LA City firefighter for 32 years. I've been retired for 10 and a half years. And I'm here to do this interview.
All right, let's do it. Okay, now, when did you get into fitness and nutrition? What age?
Well, actually, right before I got on the fire department. I got on the fire department at 23 years old, and so I was absolutely out of shape. I couldn't even run a mile.
Wow.
But I had to get a job.
So that was your motivation right there?
That was my motivation. So I ran 0.8 of a mile for the first time and passed out.
Wow. We can relate to that because I was the same way.
Yeah.
I used to walk my mile until I got used to jogging it.
And then I kept going, and then after a while I started sprinting up hills. I would sprint up Valley Ridge over here in LA,
okay,
and go to Rancho Seneca and start doing 200-meter sprints on the track. And believe it or not, in the drill tower, I wound up being the fastest guy in the drill tower.
Wow.
We did this thing called up and over. You have to run up and over a high-rise building, across the roof, down the fire escape, through the second-story window, and around the building twice. And they put me at the end, and I still come out first.
Wow, that's impressive.
So it changed everything.
Good. So I have to ask you this. I've been meaning to ask you this question since I met you. Are you vegan?
Am I vegan?
Yes.
Almost vegan.
Almost vegan.
No.
So can you give me more clarification?
No, what I mean by that is that I live a plant-based diet. I think everyone should live a plant-based diet. I think a lot of veganism and vegetarianism is more doctrinal, and some people feel constrained. In other words, you may want something and feel so constrained to stay with your veganism or your vegetarianism, and now you feel bad about it. Well, feeling bad is not going to make you healthy. So it'd be better to just have a little something if you feel like it. And that's, like I said, for the most part, I am vegan, but my youngest daughter lives in Italy, so when I go to Italy, I'll have pasta, pizza, panini, wine, and some of this, that, or whatever else. So I'm flexible.
I'm happy you said that because I'm the same way. I practice a vegan diet from Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday I have my treat meal. I don't call it a cheat meal.
Right.
Treat meal. I treat myself to something that I enjoy, like maybe some donuts or cake or maybe some fried chicken.
Right. Because the way you language it is the way it registers in your nervous system. So if you call it a cheat meal, you're telling your subconscious mind you're cheating.
But you're treating yourself. You're treating yourself to something you enjoy.
Right.
So that's where I kind of play that mind game with myself. Okay, so I've heard you mention to one of your clients to follow the GPS when it comes to nutrition. Can you give us some clarification on what that means?
Yeah, everyone understands GPS, but when I'm referring to it now, I mean grains, potatoes, starches, and sugar. So the grains, potatoes, and starches, they all turn to sugar. Most people don't think about it, but starches are sticky and gluey to the bowels. They're hard to digest. They're mucus forming. And they'll clog you up. They'll actually create more obstructions, occlusions, blockages, adhesions, encumbrances, and in a word, they'll constipate the body on a cellular level. And you want to do that. Wherever your body gets constipated is where your body gives you health challenges. In other words, if you get constipated in your brain, they may call it Alzheimer's, memory loss, mini stroke, major stroke, aneurysm. You can get constipated in your eyes, nearsightedness, farsightedness, conjunctivitis, glaucoma, cataracts. The number one killer in the country is constipated coronary arteries. They call it a heart attack. Constipated lungs can be called asthma, bronchitis, emphysema, tuberculosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So wherever you're constipated in your body, you're going to have a problem. So the thing is, you may not want to get rid of all of them, but you should reduce them. And if you're overweight at all, cut it all together. Cut that GPS, those grains, potatoes, starches, and sugar. I say sugar is the devil. It just wreaks havoc on people. If you do that, I'm telling you, that in and of itself will make you feel 1,000% better.
Well said. Well, I like the way you use the GPS analogy, it makes me really think about it, and I remind myself daily.
Because what you eat is going to take you somewhere.
Exactly. That's why I love the analogy. All right, so.
Live foods. So I tell people to drink your breakfast. Drink it. Like if you see back here, we have a simple 7-day challenge where our thing is to drink your breakfast. Between 4 in the morning and 12 noon, your body's focused on elimination.
Yes.
So, we normally have our biggest bowel movement in the morning, that strong dark urine in the morning, that morning breath, mucus in our eyes. And so our body's focused on elimination. And I tell people, you don't want to eat a big breakfast of pancakes, eggs, sausages, hash brown, heavy foods, because your body's going to shift its focus from elimination back to digestion. And digestion takes more energy than any other physiological process. And we all witness this on Christmas Day when we eat and we get the itis, as it's so called, and we just pass out and wake up, after halftime and say who won the game.
That's so true.
So
that's definitely me.
Yeah, so drink your breakfast, and then I say eat a large leafy green salad before your lunch and dinner meal. And that's an easy way to incorporate more plant foods and more live plant foods uncooked. And then some of the other stuff could be cooked, and it kind of balances it out.
Well said. All right, so I'm sure you're aware of body types, right?
Yes.
The somotypes, you got the ectomorph, you got the endomorph, and we got the mesomorph, right? The ectomorph being the real skinny people that have the fast metabolism. Then we have the endomorphs, like myself, that looks like a piece of dessert and we automatically gain weight, right? So with that being said, do you think eating to your body type matters or plays a role in how you should eat? Like some people, like for endomorphs, it is said that we should, try to incorporate low carbs into our diet and higher fats. So do you think eating to your body type matters?
I don't think it matters that much. Like I said just before that, everyone should reduce their carbs, starches, and sugars.
Okay.
I mean, it's just too much. I mean, if we can burn the fuel and we metabolize it, that's okay. But if you're overweight, I mean, it's nothing but insulin resistance and cortisol. If you're already overweight, I'm telling you, you eat too many carbs, starches, and sugars, too many GPSs. That's what it is. So it doesn't matter what your body type is. I use alphabets. There's the A frame. Some people have small upper body, big hips, thighs, and buttocks. Then there's the Y frame. Some people have skinny legs and they're top heavy, like the letter Y. And then there's the X frame. I call it the Coke bottle. Large at the top, smaller through the waist, bigger at the bottom. And then there's the I frame, where you're just straight up and down. Well, if all 4 body types lost 10 pounds, it would look so much better on the X frame. Yeah, so a different body type can look better by losing the same amount of weight, but everyone should cut the carbs, starches, and sugars because they're just not going to add that much health to the body. You don't really need them.
Totally agree. Next question. How often do you recommend people do a detox?
Oh gosh, everyone should do a detox at least every 3 months.
Every 3 months?
Every 3 months. If you think about it, every 120 days we have all new blood cells. Okay. This is everyone on the planet. This is how the body works. Every 120 days, which is 4 months, but every 120 days we have all new blood cells. And every cell in the body is first a blood cell, then it's a liver cell, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas cell. And so if you want to make new cells, you want to make new blood. So it's like changing the oil, in the car and changing the filter. So, before that 4th month comes around, if you do that every 3 months, you kind of stay on top of it. We change our oil and oil filter every 3 months.
That's true. That's so true.
Do it in our bodies. And if you're eating in a healthy way, it's not as crucial as it is for other people. But if you're eating the way I'm explaining, with a plant-based diet, more live foods into your diets, it's going to keep you healthy a long time. I don't strain to be healthy, and being healthy shouldn't be a strain. If you're like forcing yourself to be healthy, that's not healthy. Yeah. So let's keep it easy. Let's have that treat day.
That treat day, yeah.
And live a healthy life.
And it's funny that you mentioned the car analogy. When I'm coaching my clients online or in person, I usually try to tell them, think of your body as a car.
Right.
If you get to the gas station, what kind of gas are you going to put in? Are you going to put a regular gas or are you going to put the foreign? I see myself as a Porsche.
Yes.
So it's like I'm gonna put that super premium, which is the vegetables, the raw foods, not the greens, not the potatoes, not the extra sugar. I'm gonna put that premium fuel in my body so that my car and my body, aka car, can perform at a maximum level.
Absolutely. Your health is a demonstration of the fuel that you consume, like
Yes.
you're saying, and your body's response to that fuel.
Yes.
So if you're putting bad fuel in it, your body's going to respond in a bad way. That's all sickness and disease really is.
Yes.
Sickness and disease is your body's response to the fuel that you're consuming, what you're eating, drinking, breathing, put on the skin, what you're thinking, feeling, and believing. So when you put good fuel in, it's going to change everything. If you're trying to make a right turn in your car, since we're using that analogy, if you're trying to make a right turn and your car is going left, you take your car to the mechanic immediately.
Yes.
So what if you want to do something with your body and your body says no? Well, you better change your lifestyle.
Exactly. I love that. Next question. What is your opinion on fasting?
I love fasting. Fasting is the fastest way to health.
Okay.
Who says that, right? Who wants to hear it?
Yeah, no one wants to hear it.
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's the fastest way to health, because when you go into a fasted state, your body goes into what's called autophagy, or self-eating. Your body will eat up the tumors, the boils, the cysts, the nodules, the abscesses, anything that's not you, anything that's not good for you, your body will digest for fuel. So to clear your body of all the waste, the toxins, the undigested food, the metabolic waste, the dead cells, tissues, whatever is not good for you, your body will digest it. And so that doesn't mean you have to be on an extended fast, but I try to fast till 12 or 2 o'clock, depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I'll go all the way till 7 before I'll eat. And a lot of people just eat too much. They don't think about it. We put more fuel in our body than we can metabolize or utilize, and that's why it shows up as adipose tissue or as fat. So fasting, I'm telling you, fasting literally is the fastest way to convert the body. So if you have a health challenge and you start fasting, and you have to do it gradually, because you don't want, the key with fasting is controlling or governing the detoxification rate. Because if you detoxify too fast, you're gonna feel bad, and that's why people stop it. Right. People go on a detox and they go, oh, I felt bad, I tried that cleansing thing one time, and I got the headaches and I got pimples and things coming out and all that stuff. Well, you were so toxic, you just went in too fast.
Exactly.
So you just gotta slow things down.
What kind of foods can I eat to keep my energy levels up?
Fats.
How
about that?
Okay, great. Can you dive in more detail about that?
Well, think about it. Like the carbs, the body burns carbs, it burns fat, then it burns protein. Carbs burn up really fast. Say if you have a barbecue pit and you want to cook some whatever, I don't know, chicken ribs, links or whatever, but you stuff it with newspaper, right? You shove it with newspaper, you strike a match and you light it. Well, that newspaper is going to burn right up. You got to shove more newspaper in, and it burns up, and it doesn't generate much heat. It burns right up. Well, that's how carbs are. They burn off, you got to eat more. They burn off and you eat more, and they burn off and you eat more. But if you put some big logs in there, logs will take a little longer to heat up, but they'll burn a lot longer.
And the logs are the fats?
No, the logs are the protein.
The protein, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, protein, but eventually the logs will burn up.
Okay.
But it does give you more energy and more fuel.
Okay.
But if you put some coals in there, once those coals heat up and you don't put them out, those coals will burn all day and all night and all day and all night, and that's fats. Fats give you longer burning fuel. So think of it like this. Think of it in terms of energy. 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is 4 calories. 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. And what are calories? That's energy. That's heat. The unit of heat to raise 1 liter of water 1 degree. So what's going to give you more fuel, more energy, more
fats? That's so true.
Let's do it.
You broke it down perfectly.
Avocados, seeds, olive oil, coconut oil.
That's it. Wow. Okay. Now, there's a lot of misconception when it comes to fruits, right? People are always generalizing fruits as being bad and having excess sugar. There's a lot of research and studies that have been proven that sugar is bad for you. I mean, fruits are bad for you, right?
Right.
So I gotta ask you this now, from your experience and your knowledge, are fruits really bad for you?
If you're a diabetic, yes.
Okay.
Or hypoglycemic or hyperglycemic. The thing is, no, fruits aren't bad. Everything has its place. You can say water is bad if you drink too much.
That's true.
One lady on a radio show drank so much, she died.
Yeah,
so it's not bad. It's where you are.
Yeah.
It's where you're on the spectrum of health. And so, no, of course fruits aren't bad, but you have to metabolize it. The more active you are, the more you work out, the more you exercise, the more fruit you can consume. The less active you are, the less you should consume. I mean, if we fill up your gas tank, because we're going to drive to San Diego, and we top it off, well, if you drive on the freeway and say, oh, the freeway's too crowded, let's wait and go back later, and you get back go back to the gas station and start pumping gas again, it's going to spill over into your body as adipose tissue. So
Yes.
if you're taking in more than you can handle, that's with anything, it's not going to be good for you. So I would say, yeah, cut the carbs, starches, and sugars. If you want to lose fat, you may want to cut the fruit down for a while. If you're really got a lot of fat, that's what I say. I mean, cut it. Just the carbs, starches, GPS, grains, potatoes, starches, sugars, even the fruit, until you get to where you can, you get to where you want to be, I should say, and then you can start incorporating more fruit, or at least bring it in and add some fat with it. Because say if I do a smoothie, I may have an almond milk or some kind of nut milk, and I'll have a half an avocado and a small piece of frozen banana with it, but then some almond butter, more fats to surround it, so that fat slows the sugar uptake of that fruit. You see what I mean?
Yes.
But it was just fruit. Man, that fruit, if it spikes your insulin is a fat storing hormone. So if that's what you want, do it. But no, fruit is not bad. God gave us fruit. How can it be bad?
How can it be bad? Exactly. It's natural. And how do you feel about organic foods?
Organic is always the best, but don't let that stop you.
Okay.
Because eating food, I'm saying, look, get a salad in, have a drink. Don't let it not being organic. So what is it? You're gonna say, well, it's not organic, so I'm gonna eat this crap.
Yeah.
What kind of logic is that?
And that's so true. That's so true.
Eat the fruits and vegetables. Eat the salads. Salads, non-starchy vegetables. That's what you want to center around.
Yes.
And then have the fruits if you feel like you may be low or whatever. Bring your sugar up.
So the next question that I have is also a personal question, but a question I get asked a lot. I've kind of figured it out, but I want to hear your perspective on it.
Okay.
So what kind of foods should I eat to avoid excess bloating? Because there's a lot of research that a lot of vegetables like cauliflower, broccoli can cause excess bloating. Also, some people have like GI bowel syndrome.
Oh, gastroesophageal reflux disease.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, some people have poor digestion. That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
So it really may not be the food so much as their digestion is. So you can make it easier to digest. Like you're talking about broccoli, you may want to steam it or heat it up. A quick stir fry. Like in Chinese food. Some olive oil, whatever. Quick stir fry.
Okay.
Just to heat it up, and you'll digest it better.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's the combination of foods. It's like putting the proteins and the starches together. That's what, they have two different digestive enzymes to break it down. And so that's what really causes more of the bloating.
Okay.
So if you have like a salad, some non-starchy vegetables, and a piece of meat, that goes together. Or a salad, non-starchy vegetables, and a carb, that can go together. But if you have carbs and proteins together, then that's going to cause a problem.
Got it.
So it's the food combinations that really causes the bloating. And then you can always get a good digestive enzyme. Some people just have poor digestion. Until you clear your system out, get rid of the mucus, the acid, the drug residues that may be in your body, it's going to change everything. Digestion is everything.
Digestion. Okay. Now, next question. People always get hooked on protein powders and supplements. All right, so I'm sure you've had a ton of questions regarding this topic. Do you personally recommend any supplements, and have you taken any supplements your whole life?
I'm on a nutrition, of course.
Oh, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. Since we're talking about supplements.
Well, it's just like, like in our Power Green. Our Power Green is spirulina. Well, it's protein, but it's spirulina. It's alkaline protein.
Alkaline protein.
The two pillars of chemistry are acid and alkaline. So acid, if you think about acid, if I threw it in your face, it would burn.
Yeah.
Acid is caustic, it's abrasive, it's harsh, it burns, it's inflammatory. It's the word inflammation.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to take in foods or protein powders that are inflammatory, which a lot of people do.
Yes.
So I created you can call it protein or greens or whatever, but it's spirulina, cacao, horsetail, ginger.
And this one right here.
Yeah, that one right there.
How many grams of
alkaline
protein in this? Do you know how many grams?
You know what? It's usually 8 grams tablespoon for spirulina.
Wow.
But I don't think about grams so much. And even the numbers we come up with, because we're so, how did man live all of this time? How do we exist on the planet?
Exactly.
We're so cerebral and so intellectual about how we eat, it's really ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So my thing is get the good stuff in, get the bad stuff out, and let your body do what it's supposed to do. So I'll tell people, if you're depleted, you can take more. If you're not, then you don't have to take as much. I just tell people to take 2 teaspoons and put in the morning. And I have people, I've been here 18 years. And I have people telling me how great they feel with just taking 2 teaspoons a day. Because it's the law of a cumulative effect. When you get good stuff in repeatedly, habitually, consistently, and daily, it changes the game. You don't have to overload yourself. I can tell you this, too much protein is hard on the kidneys.
And the kidneys.
I mean, I'm not talking about hard to digest, I'm talking about hard to filter out.
Okay.
Because it's like trying to put mud through a coffee filter. You know, there's what's called the protein efficiency ratio, the PER. Well, live protein, lactose, we really don't need protein. What we need is amino acids. Now I'm really changing the game.
Yes, no, you're right about that.
Because it's about feeding the cells.
Yes.
And most people eat for flavor and taste or to feed their bellies. They're not
pleasure.
eating to feed their cells, right? And so the thing is to get that raw, live nutrition into your cells, and you don't need as much. Like juice, drinking juice, you'll get more, you'll receive more and take in more than any other trying to cook food or some supplement somewhere else like that.
And also, I read a case study when I was like studying for my certification, and it said that protein, like people feel like you have to match the number of your weight to the number of grams of protein that you require for your body. And there's been research that has proven that you don't require that much protein to keep and maintain your muscle mass.
No, because it's like it's a building block. If you have a brick house, you're just replacing bricks.
Yes.
I mean, who do you think needs more protein? You know, a grown adult or a newborn baby? You would think a newborn baby, right?
Yeah.
Because they're developing.
Yes.
Well, mother's milk is only 3% protein.
Yes.
It's fat dominant.
Wow.
Fat is the better burning fuel. Yes. That's why fat will give you much more fuel. You can get your protein. If you got a brick house and a brick swallows out, you just replace a brick. This brick, that brick, that brick. You don't need to just bring in a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
You're just making it hard on your kidneys, and that's why people have kidney failure. You know, high blood pressure was the first sign of kidney failure. You're just putting too much protein, trying to filter it through. Like I said, it's trying to put mud through a coffee filter, and you're gonna damage your kidneys trying to load up on so much protein.
Okay, so I'm sure you've heard about the keto diet.
Oh, of course.
Of course, there's a new rave. Everyone's talking about the keto diet. Everyone's trying to practice the keto diet. Now, I have to ask you this again. I'm sure you've probably done the keto. Have you done the keto diet before?
Sure, absolutely.
So, do you think the keto diet is something that's sustainable?
Yes, it is. Because, you know, the human body really doesn't need carbs. Of course it is. And the reason why I say cut the GPS is because we don't need them.
We don't need them.
I had a lady about 16 years ago. She was 300 pounds. She was on insulin and high blood pressure meds, seeing the doctor twice a week, and they put her on disability. And so the thing is, her blood sugar was 600. And so I'm thinking, like, we got to get the sugar down. It should be like 80. You should only supposed to have a teaspoon of sugar in the entire 6 liters of blood that's going through your body. And so I said, how are we going to get your sugar down? She was like, I don't know, drink water to urinate out the sugar. I said, oh, that's too slow. You might stroke out. You know, high blood pressure and diabetes, I call it the dynamic duo. I said, you're going to have a stroke, heart attack, or kidney failure. So I said, we got to get it down now. What can we do? She was like, I don't know, exercise to burn off the sugar. I said, again, too slow. How are we going to get it down? I'm just trying to make her think. She was like, I don't know. I said, how about don't put it in? If it's high, don't put it in.
Good work.
So as simple as that. So we stopped putting it in. We got cut her off the grains, potatoes, the sugars, the starches. Put her on a program, and in 3 weeks, she lost 37 pounds, got off her insulin and high blood pressure meds, and was back to work.
Wow.
I didn't know anything about keto, but now they call it keto.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get her blood sugar down.
Wow.
That's all I was doing. But now they give it a name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is sustainable, but well, think about the African bushman. You know, he's 85 years old. He's ripped. He's got muscle bellies and striations and definitions. It's like he's just not eating all those carbs, starches, and his sugars.
That's how I practice the keto diet to this day.
Yeah.
And but I don't do it with the fake vegan meats.
Right.
When I have a treat day, that's when I incorporate that.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm eating spinach, stir fried broccoli and avocado on the side, and that fills me up. And I drink a smoothie with it.
Absolutely.
And that fills me up. So that's my routine. So I personally believe that the keto diet does work and it's sustainable.
Yeah, it's fat dominant.
It's fat dominant.
75% fat, 20% protein, 5%. You know, most people argue that you are what you eat. That's what the culture says. My contention is you're not just what you eat, you are what you don't eliminate.
Okay,
if it's not eliminated, it's accumulated. And that's why we see people with accumulations all over their body.
Okay.
So most people don't realize it's 30 feet between your mouth and your anus. And so the cleanser cleans everything out. All those twists and turns and convolutions and pockets, we want to clear it out. So that's why I say eat the large leafy green salad before your cook lunch or dinner meal, because it acts like a natural gastric bypass. It displaces room in the stomach, so you eat less cooked food, which clogs you up because it leaves a residue in the body. But then the salad and the cleanser together rooms out that 30 feet of twists and turns and convolutions in the intestinal tract. So it flattens your stomach automatically. You clean you out, you lose weight, you get more circulation, more tissue perfusion, more blood, lymph flow, nerve flow, and everything changes.
What is the best meal to eat before a high intensity exercise? Remember that time we went to the gym?
Yes.
And you mentioned something that, I wish I would have ate my avocado, right?
Yeah.
This what made me come to this question, right?
Right.
So what is the best meal to eat before a high intensity exercise?
Well, think about it like this. The fastest way to get something in your cells is to drink it.
Okay.
Because you don't have to digest. Remember, digestion takes more energy. So if you have to digest something, that's going to draw energy away, right?
Yes.
So now if you can put fat, like I said, avocado, I had half an avocado in my salad. I put in some hemp seeds, put in a piece of banana, whatever. Maybe some MCT oil, more fat, some almond butter. Look at the fats. I'm just fat with a little, frozen banana when you blend it with the almond milk or whatever, it makes it rich and creamy.
Yes.
But I'm focusing on the fats because fats give you longer burning fuel. Think of it like this. If we crashed in the jungle of Brazil, we're on a trip, we had to hike out 50 miles through jungle terrain with a machete.
Yes.
They said, we can give you 30 apples or 30 avocados. You got to go through 50 miles of jungle terrain. You tell me what you
Avocado.
Exactly.
Because
it's giving that long burning fuel.
Yes.
So I'm going to say, drink you a fatty drink.
Okay, drink you a fatty drink
Instead
of eating it. So make an avocado smoothie.
Yes.
And that will sustain you with enough energy to survive a high intensity exercise.
Absolutely.
So this question that I have written here, do you agree with fasted cardio? Do you agree with working out and doing cardio in a fasted state?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, when you're in a fasted state, your body burns fat, carbs burns all of that stuff.
Okay.
And if you want to get rid of fat off your body, you want to get lean, and like I said, more muscle bellies and striations. Yeah, definitely. Work out before you eat. Work out in a fasted state. I mean, you were doing it yesterday.
I was dying.
I know.
I was
starving. But the thing is, because that was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, working out in a fasted state is definitely the best. But the thing is, again, just take your time.
Yes.
Just, line up on line, precept on precept, just start in. Okay. Most people they get excited, enthusiastic, and want to jump on something. They do too much, too fast, too soon.
Okay.
And they say, oh, it didn't work.
Yes.
No, go slow. Have somebody guide you through it. But that is definitely the best.